Morning. Actually, it might not even be morning where you are. I have no idea what time it is. It could be afternoon, could be middle of the night, could be 3 a.m. If it is 3 a.m, then go to bed. Go sleep. Sleep time now. No, this is not actually sweet coffee. This is a herbal tea. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Let's get over the fact that it has been a while and focus on the positives. We have hit 500 subscribers since I've sort of been away from the channel for a while, and that is actual madness. So if you are subscribed to my channel, then thank you so much. You have made me a little viola player very happy. If you're not subscribed to my channel, then rude. Just rude. So today's video is going to be one which is very topical because I have an audition coming up in a few weeks' time, and so it's been some like audition prep and how to do a successful audition and all those kinds of things have been very much on the brain as of late. And I have been auditioning for orchestras for, oh golly, few years now, and I have always done the extras auditions. So in order to get on the extras list, so that, you know, I get called up when other people have gone on holiday and whatever. It is a very sunny, then cloudy, then sunny, then cloudy kind of a day, so apologies if the lighting goes nuts, which it probably will. And so these tips are very much the things that I've kind of gleaned from my research and things that I have found really helpful when preparing for auditions. Now, I have had unsuccessful auditions, obviously, I've had successful auditions, and these are kind of just some of the things that I've learned along the way that I hope will be helpful to you in this absolutely ridiculous process, which doesn't really tell anyone how anybody actually plays in an orchestra, but that's just my opinion. So tip number one is to picture where you want to be whilst you're playing. Now, not only does this help kind of take you out of the fact that you're in a strange room with strange people all staring at you doing the thing, which is probably your number one insecurity, as well as the thing that you're like really passionate about in life. And you know, it's, yeah, okay, it's a horrible situation, and I'll stop talking about that, but it sucks. But what I do is I actually imagine that I am sat in the seat that I am applying for, or I'm sat in the orchestra that I am auditioning with. It's a slight kind of manifesting technique, but it's also just something that makes me feel so much calmer. Being in an orchestra, being in an orchestral section is my happy place. It's where I do my best playing, it's where I am happiest all the time, and it's just, you know, it's the thing that makes me go, okay, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm putting myself through this experience. And this is why, you know, this whole process will be worth it. So that's something that really helps me, is actually not necessarily visualizing the music and all of that, which I do, but I'll get onto that in a second. But it's more just actually, you know, if I were to be playing this music, this piece, these excerpts, in my ideal scenario, where would I be? In the orchestra that I'm applying for. So I find that just something that's really helpful. And like I say, just kind of focuses you on why you're there and less on the actual situation itself. My tip number two is to practice in the clothes that you'll be wearing. Now, this is a super obvious one that everyone says all the time, but I want to kind of put a different spin on it. I find that a lot of what to wear to your audition tips are really unhelpful. For example, I like to wear heels when I'm auditioning, just because it helps my posture. It makes me a bit more, it makes me kind of sit back on my heels, it helps my posture, which helps my shoulders, which helps me relax, and it also just kind of makes me feel a little bit more badass. Like, I just feel a bit like more powerful when I'm wearing a pair of heels. Now, I do not mean my best, highest, most sparkliest stilettos, although, I mean, you know, go nuts. What I mean is that I just wear a pair of like chunky heeled boots, something like that. Because, like I say, I just find it helps ground me so much. And like I say, I knew this tip for a really, really long time, but I never actually implemented it until a few summers ago when I had my, guess what, first successful audition. Which is actually when I really honed in on a lot of these things that help me. And practicing in the clothes you're going to wear is definitely one of them, because you need to, you know, anticipate as well how adrenaline is going to affect you. So for example, a good friend of mine gets incredibly hot when she gets, you know, nervous, or she feels like she's under pressure, anything like that. She gets really, really warm. Now I go the complete opposite direction. I get cold, particularly my hands, which is so unhelpful. As a string player, basically the worst thing for playing and feeling, you know, limbo and being able to do all your stuff is if your hands are cold. So for me, I have to really layer up for auditions. So a lot of the time this will mean that, you know, really smart outfit actually isn't the best outfit for me to wear. Like if I wear, you know, I don't know, just like a nice top and some smart trousers, I will freeze to death. Like my hands go so cold. So I always wear a really comfy jumper. Now bear in mind, so it could be something like this, like a plain black jumper or whatever, and just something that is comfortable, that I can move in, that is going to sit under my viola well, that I'm going to be able to move really well in, that I'm not going to feel restricted by it at all. I don't like that in clothing at the best of times, but especially not when it comes to auditions. My third tip is to practice actually performing the music. I know this sounds strange, but when we're practicing, we get so caught up in the nitty gritty, and I know I do. Like I can spend hours and hours happily practicing things slowly, and then like getting them up to speed and making sure that it's all even, make sure it's all in tune and it's all lovely. But then I get to the actual thing and I'm like, oh yes, musical brain, turn on musical brain, and it feels so incredibly different. So practice performing to people if you can. So for example, I get my husband to sit on the sofa and like, laissez-moi me play, which he has to do far too much anyway, but I find that incredibly helpful. Or, and I've mentioned this before, play to friends, play to, you know, people that are musical, play to people that are not, you know, all of these kinds of things really help, because the more you put yourself in those kinds of scenarios, and the more you put yourself playing the stuff that you will be playing in those scenarios. Did that make sense? Not entirely sure. That will really help, okay? So, yeah. Practice performing them, put yourself under performance kind of conditions as much as you can. Obviously it is really, I mean, it's basically impossible to completely recreate the scenario that you'll be in. But, like I say, similar to the practicing in the clothes that you're going to be wearing, practice doing the actual thing. So wear the clothes, kind of walk in, ask them to pick excerpts at random, you know, do all of that, just so that you get used to how all of that is going to feel. I ummed and ahed about this tip number 4, just because I actually haven't used this yet in an audition, but I am already feeling more confident about this upcoming audition than I ever have before, because I am chucking the music in the bin. Not actually, I am. It's far too expensive to throw away, but I'm memorising my music. So I'm not memorising the excerpts, just because there's not really any point, but I am memorising my concerto, and it's the first time that I've done that for an audition, but I am already annoyed at myself that I have not done this before, because what I'm finding is that I'm actually so much more in the music. I'm listening to myself better. I'm actually, you know, visualising music. I can picture where it's going. Whereas when I look at a piece, so for example, I have my concerto right here, okay, good old Walton. This is a lot. It's a lot. It's overwhelming. There's so much information on here. You know, not only notes, but also the bowings and the dynamics and just, you know, the phrasing marks, everything. There's so much there that you can't possibly take in all of that information and give a really good musical performance. Sorry, I say you can't. I mean, you know, if memorising is something that is just totally off the cards for you for whatever reason, then totally disregard this point. But For me, I think it's gonna make a huge, huge difference. And just like I say, I'm already playing it so much more musically. I'm enjoying the piece so much more. I have a very love-hate relationship with this piece of music, as I've spoken about before, but it's already making me enjoy it more. I'm already finding it more satisfying, and it's also helping because I have been practicing this piece for near on a decade, probably. And so finding new things to kind of tease out a bit, or, you know, you constantly feel like it's not quite like what you want, I'm finding memorizing it gives me the space to actually put those things into play. So I'm really, really excited about this. I will report back on how it actually goes. But yeah, I mean, like I say, this one is utterly optional. If you, all these tips are, but this one especially, if, you know, memorizing is something that you just absolutely cannot do for whatever reason, then just don't worry about it. Like, it's not the be all and end all, but I personally am already finding it really, really helpful. And my final tip is to ignore everyone else's tips, throw them out the window, and do your own thing. Which I appreciate is very odd coming in a video all about tips, but I really, really mean this. I got to, like, how many times have you been told, eat a banana before your audition because they have beta blockers in them and they will make you feel more calm? I hate bananas. Like, just a banana, love them in a smoothie, love them frozen with stuff on top, side point. Like, just a banana on it, like, I don't like them. But for years, I was like, and especially when you're a bit nervous and you're kind of struggling to eat anyway, like forcing this banana, it's just stupid. Like, I don't like bananas. So at my first ever successful audition, I was eating an apple in the, like, warm-up room. It was one of those, like, communal warm-up rooms. Horrible, horrible things. And this other girl actually commented on the fact that an apple was an odd choice of snack. And I was like, well, I like apples. And I was hungry, so gonna eat it. But she actually commented, being like, oh, that's a funny pre-audition snack. And I was like, why? I also had, so I was holding like a coffee when I walked into the audition room, because I normally have a coffee around about 11 o'clock in the morning, because my husband is a creature of habit. I have become a creature of habit. It's a very odd experience for me. And so therefore it was, you know, it was 11 o'clock. So I bought myself a coffee on the way to the audition. But, like, I've always been told, don't drink coffee beforehand because it can increase your anxiety and therefore make you more nervous and more likely to have bow shakes and blah. But because I'd never, on audition days before, basically I had completely deviated from my normal routine, my normal daily routine. All of the things that make me happy or comfortable or just live life, you know, I'd eat a different breakfast, I'd have different snacks, I'd drink different things, and this resulted in me just feeling completely weird by the time I even, you know, reached the venue, let alone stepped inside the audition room. So yeah, just, I mean, do what you want. Another thing to just completely ignore and do your own thing is on what to wear. So obviously, I know this point was earlier, but bear with, I've just thought of it. Because I was always told, don't wear black, because, you know, black makes you forgettable and, you know, yada yada. I don't even know what the reasons were, to be honest. I like wearing black. I'm wearing black today. It's probably my favourite colour to wear. I have a white dog, which was an error in hindsight. But, like, I am comfortable in black. So story time. We're gonna need the tea for this. Okay, so my worst audition ever, honestly, I try not to think about it on a regular basis, was for the City of Birmingham Symphony Orchestra, so CBSO. I travelled up, I did all of the things that you're supposed to do, like not drink coffee, I had my banana in hand, and I was trying to figure out what to wear. And I was like, oh, well, I can't wear black because, you know, I'm animal. So I wore this dress, which was like, it was like blue and pink, and it had flowers on it, and it was like basically the last thing on earth that I actually enjoy wearing and feel good in and feel comfortable in. And I just felt so unlike myself. I felt just like I was playing a role. I felt like I was in costume, basically, and I wasn't warm enough. I was cold. I hated the shoes I was wearing, so I was like embarrassed walking into the room because it wasn't screened, and I was like, oh, just felt awful and just felt so uncomfortable, and so I played terribly, like really bad. I am embarrassed, and you know that if I'd just worn clothes that I was comfortable in, that whole day could have been different. So like I like black, so I'm going to be wearing black. For this upcoming audition, I'm going to be wearing all black. I've got an outfit that I'm thinking of wearing. I've got to order the skirt though, so we'll see. We may not end up wearing that. But basically, I'm going to be wearing a black cashmere jumper, which will keep me really, really nice and warm, but it isn't too bulky. I'm going to have my black chunky heels on. I'm probably going to be wearing this nice skirt I'm ordering. I'm going to have tights on. I'm going to be warm, and I'm going to be in all black. My last point on the ignore everyone else's tips and do your own thing is to actually not watch too many videos or read too many articles on audition prep. I am honoured that you're watching mine. I really mean that, okay? This is a big deal. It's a big moment in your life, and I am truly, truly honoured. I mean that, that you've come to me and you're watching this video. But in preparation for this video, because I thought, I know what I want to say, but I just wonder, you know, if anybody else has some good tips that could be good to put in here. And quite frankly, a lot of them freaked me out. Like, one of them had a practice, like, what are they called, spreadsheet, and like, that would build a graph on how he knew when, like, how much practice to do and when and what to practice. Worst nightmare. Literal worst nightmare. I can't imagine anything worse that would make me feel more nervous or more stressed, or it's just another thing to do as well. Who has time? Like, I'm too busy practicing Don Juan to write a flippin' spreadsheet about it. Look, if you are a graph person, you're a spreadsheet person, then congratulations, all power to you. But if you are anything at all like me, which probably not, then that sounds like the worst thing on earth. So just do you. Crack on. You'll be fine. And that's it. I think that's everything that I want to say on this particular subject. Like I say, I know it may seem a little bit odd, me making this video when, you know, I don't have a permanent job in an orchestra yet, or anything like that, but auditions are horrible processes, okay? They are. I don't think they're the best way of doing things, and hopefully one day I will be in a position where I can maybe change that a little bit. A girl has ambitions, but I really hope that you found this video useful. Like I say, if any of these tips you're like, yeah, no, that sounds awful, then don't do them. Don't do them. Do you. Do what makes you comfortable at the end of the day. And the best of luck with your upcoming audition or any auditions that you may do in the future. If you are currently subscribed to my channel, then thank you, love you. If you're not, then please do. I'm really passionate about this channel, and there are so many things in the classical music world which are amazing. And there are so many things that I think need to be spoken about, need to be talked about more openly, and just let's make it a more encouraging, welcoming place to be. And so if that sounds like something you want to get on board with, then please do hit that subscribe button, like this video if you have enjoyed it, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye. Oh, Tinny, I'm trying to. Oh, thank you. You like Walton? Yeah. Good girl. And your golden retriever gets in the shot.